Welcome you to a deep dive into a destination that holds a special place for many travelers and dreamers, Chiang Mai, Thailand's Rose of the North. We're going to unpack why this city is so beloved, what it's really like to live and visit there, and reveal some surprising facts along the way. Our mission today is really to cut through the noise and give you a comprehensive, balanced, and insightful understanding of Chiang Mai, drawing directly from a rich stack of sources, from personal reviews right through to official city data. So let's unpack this. What is it about Chiang Mai that truly captures people's imagination? What draws them in, whether they're just visiting or thinking about a longer stay?
Well, what's truly insightful here, I think, is Chiang Mai's unique blend. It's a city nestled in mountainous northern Thailand, a real hub of culture and history. It traces its roots back to the former Lana Kingdom, which was this powerful, independent kingdom that, really shaped northern Thailand's distinct identity. But despite having an urban population of, 1.2 million, it somehow feels much greener and quieter than a sprawling metropolis like Bangkok. It keeps this relaxed, almost village-like vibe, even within the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that relaxed, welcoming atmosphere really comes through in the experiences our sources describe. So many people talk about the incredible friendliness, how helpful people are. It makes visitors feel genuinely at home, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's a fascinating mix, isn't it? You've got this cosmopolitan feel, a pretty significant expat community.
Right.
But the local culture still thrives beautifully alongside all the accommodations for international residents. It's like a perfect mix of worlds, as one source put it. Plus, you get that lovely cooler season from November to January, which is a big draw. Precisely. And this blend is exactly why it's become such a magnet for digital nomads and, anyone looking to live abroad for a bit. What's truly insightful is how Chiang Mai has sort of inadvertently perfected the ecosystem for this lifestyle. It's not just about being affordable, though that helps. It's this unique combination of readily available co-working spaces, a vibrant expat community that acts like an instant network, and a lifestyle that blends deep local culture with Western amenities, but without that overwhelming pace you might find in Bangkok. The traffic, for instance, is just far more manageable.
Right. So with Chiang Mai's charm drawing so many people in, the next logical question is, okay, where do you actually stay? Where do you set up your base? Our deep dive definitely uncovered a whole spectrum of accommodation options, and each kind of tells a story about the city's diverse appeal. What's the overall picture there? Yeah, our sources highlight a really impressive range. You've got everything from luxurious boutique hotels to more value-driven options and hostels. I think the key insight is that while you can certainly find these opulent experiences, a lot of visitors seem to praise places that prioritize personalized service and unique charm.
Yeah.
Places that go beyond expectation, as one review put it.
Exactly. Like the Anantara Chiang Mai resort gets mentioned for staff who really go the extra mile, helping with bookings, offering upgrades, all in that beautiful riverside setting. And other top choices like Salalana Chiang Mai get consistent praise for that personal feel, great beds, apparently amazing banana pancakes.
Right. Sounds good.
But then the budget and hostel scene seems to be where the real variance kicks in, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, while you have hostels like Neo Hostel offering good value AC rooms, and the living place gets props for being a social hub, the critical takeaway here really is the need for due diligence. You have to check carefully because you also get these stark warnings, like the review described with a lingering smell of sewage, tiny rooms crammed with people, no AC despite picking it. Just avoid this, the reviewer said.
Wow, yeah.
It really just underscores how important it is to scrutinize recent reviews and check the specific amenities, especially when you're looking at the lower price points.
Good advice. So for those thinking about a longer stay, maybe not just a hostel, what's the usual process for finding a proper home? And what about ownership? Can foreigners even buy property?
Right. So if you're thinking longer term, the standard approach seems to be starting with a monthly rental. And apparently this is surprisingly quick and much easier than in many Western countries. Foreigners can easily rent apartments, often on yearly contracts, but shorter stays are definitely available too. And regarding ownership, while foreigners can't own land directly, you're allowed to own condominiums outright. So that's an option for people looking to invest or settle more permanently.
Okay, this next point really highlights something quite unique about Chiang Mai. I think the distinct personalities of different neighborhoods. It seems like choosing where you live long term really matters.
Oh, definitely. That comes through loud and clear. Niman Hammon, usually just called Niman, is the clear favorite for the digital nomad and expat crowd. It's trendier, it's packed with cool cafes, specialty stores, and has a really lively night scene. Live music, rooftop bars. It's the place if you want to connect with other online workers through its many co-working spaces.
Right, the hub.
Exactly. Then you've got the Central Business District, the CBD, also a solid choice. Very convenient, lots of food stalls, social spots. Everything's pretty much within walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's the old city. Living there puts you right in the historic heart of Chiang Mai, surrounded by ancient walls, temples, street food, night bazaars, local art. It's a very different vibe.
So loads of choices depending on what you're after. Okay, we know where to stay, roughly, but what does this all mean for actually, navigating this vibrant city? How do you get around?
Getting around Chiang Mai offers a real mix of local flavor and modern convenience. The options are quite diverse. You've got the songthos, those iconic red two-row covered pickup trucks. They're the most common local transport, kind of acting like shared buses on loose routes, or you can hire them privately, like a taxi.
Mm-hmm. You see them everywhere in photos.
Exactly. You'll need to negotiate fares, but typically it's quite affordable, maybe around 30 baht within the old city walls. Then there are tuk-tuks. They're quicker, definitely noisier.
Yeah.
Fares generally range from maybe 40, 50 baht for short hops, up to 100, 150 for longer distances. Could be up to 300 baht if you're going way outside the inner ring road. Negotiation is key again. And now you can even get electric tuk-tuks via ride-hailing apps, which is interesting.
Okay. And for something a bit more conventional, like taxis or ride sharing.
Yep. Regular taxis exist, though you usually need to call them or find them at major spots like the airport or big hotels. They're not always cruising around like in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Ride-hailing apps like Grab Taxi and Bolt are really popular and often easier. Grab rides within the city are typically very reasonable, like 40 to 80 Bolt.
That sounds manageable.
It is. Now, scooters or motorbikes, they're super convenient, very cheap for getting around. But if you've never ridden one before, Chiang Mai is absolutely not the place to learn.
Right. This came up starkly in the sources, a critical warning indeed. One source pointed out over 1,000 foreigners were injured in motorbike accidents just in 2018. That's sobering.
It really is. It underscores the risk. Yeah. While the freedom of a scooter is tempting, Thailand's road fatality rate is alarmingly high, second highest in the world, according to some reports.
Wow.
So, beyond just wearing a full-face helmet, which is strongly advised, the real insight here is to seriously consider alternatives. Use Grab, use the Songtaos, and for longer trips outside the city, hiring a car or a minivan with a driver is often recommended. It costs more, maybe 1,500, 2,500 baht per day plus fuel, but it's much safer and more comfortable than trying to self-drive if you're not used to the conditions.
Makes sense.
And it's worth noting there's a citywide bus system too, the RTC Chiang Mai City Bus, operating from the airport. And there are plans, apparently, for a light railway transit system by 2027 to help ease traffic. So public transport is evolving.
Okay, good to know. We've explored how to navigate the city, but for anyone thinking about a longer stay, those day-to-day practicalities are just crucial, aren't they? What do our sources reveal about making Chiang Mai a truly feasible long-term home? Let's start with something fundamental like banking. How does that work for a foreigner?
Right, banking as a foreigner. It has its unique benefits and hurdles. The big plus of getting a Thai bank account is avoiding foreign transaction fees, which can add up. It also lets you get direct deposits if you're earning income locally and gives easy access to local ATMs. Plus, mobile banking is huge there. It simplifies payments. Using QR codes, you can pay almost any vendor that way, from street food stalls to shops.
Okay, that sounds pretty convenient. What are the hurdles then?
Well, the challenges are things like bank staff not always speaking English, although it's getting better. The regulations are quite strict to prevent fraud, so there's paperwork. And opening an account can actually be harder sometimes, especially in Bangkok compared to Chiang Mai, due to maybe higher scrutiny. You'll typically need a valid passport and, importantly, usually a non-immigrant visa. Tourists are often limited to just basic savings accounts, if they can get one at all.
Got it. Visa status matters. Okay, and what about healthcare? That's always a major concern for people considering moving abroad.
Yeah, definitely. Medical treatment in Chiang Mai's main urban areas is generally pretty good. Facilities are often comparable to Western standards for routine care and emergencies. It's even promoted as a medical tourism hub, partly because costs are lower than in Bangkok or back home for many people. Hospitals like Chiang Mai get high ratings.
That's reassuring.
Pharmacies are accessible too, but there's a quirk. You can usually only purchase a 30-day supply of medication at a time, and sometimes the doses might be lower than what you're used to. So bringing records is helpful. It's a good idea to have your medical records organized, maybe by illness. And the city is apparently developing specializations in things like robotic surgery and geriatric medicine.
Interesting. Now, our sources really emphasize this thriving expat and digital nomad community. It sounds almost like a built-in support network for newcomers. But does this strong community come with any potential downsides or challenges based on the feedback we saw?
That's a sharp observation. It's definitely a double-edged sword for some. While it's incredibly supportive, generally you have groups like the Chiang Mai Expats Club offering practical help with banking, immigration, housing, even hosting newcomers' tables at events.
Right.
Forum discussions did reveal some mixed experiences. Some people find the groups fantastic for making friends and navigating challenges. Others describe certain groups or interactions as loud, self-centered, or maybe depending on their perspective.
Okay, so finding your tribe within the tribe, perhaps.
Exactly. It highlights that while the network exists, it's not always a universal fit for everyone's personality or needs. But beyond the formal clubs, there are tons of opportunities to meet people, co-working spaces, cafes, just being out and about. And this strong community, combined with a generally liberal climate and lower cost of living, has even drawn a noticeable number of Chinese residents since around 2022.
Fascinating. It really sounds like preparation makes a huge difference. One expat's reflection really stood out. They wished they'd learned simple Thai phrases, figured out how to ride a motorbike before arriving, and understood the healthcare system better. Seems like good advice.
Absolutely. A little prep goes a long way.
Okay, so let's dive deeper into the city's appeal now. Once you're settled, or even if you're just visiting, Chiang Mai truly offers this wealth of activities for pretty much every interest, right? From ancient wonders to modern adventures.
Oh, absolutely. The city is just steeped in history and surrounded by natural beauty. You absolutely must visit Wat Phra, that Doi Suthep. It's the most important temple, perched way up on a mountain. The views of the city are phenomenal. You climb over 300 steps lined with these mythical Naga serpents.
Or take the cable car.
Or take the cable car, yes. Much easier. And then within the old city walls, you shouldn't miss Wat Phra Sing, famous for its Lana-style murals, or Wat Chang Man, which is the oldest royal temple, housing really ancient Buddha images. For nature lovers, there's Huaikoi Waterfall near the city, or the really unique sticky waterfalls, the Buatong waterfalls. Limestone deposits mean you can actually climb up the cascades without slipping. It's pretty cool.
That sounds amazing. Okay, speaking of immersive experiences, one activity that comes up constantly, but also carries this really critical ethical dimension, involves elephants. What's the essential takeaway from our sources on doing that responsibly?
Yeah, this is a really important question for visitors. Elephant tourism is huge, but you have to research thoroughly. Many places call themselves sanctuaries, but might still exploit the animals using really harmful traditional practices, sometimes called fudjon, to break their spirits for riding or shows. Elephants are technically considered livestock under Thai law, which complicates welfare protections.
Right, so what should people look for?
The key insight, the strong recommendation from ethical sources, is to choose no-ride sanctuaries. Places like Elephant Nature Park, Elephant Jungle Sanctuary, or Happy Elephant Home are often mentioned. At these places, you can typically feed and bathe the elephants in a way that's designed to be responsible and respectful, directly supporting their well-being rather than contributing to practices that exploit them. No riding, no shows.
Okay, that's a really clear guideline, thanks. So, beyond the elephants, for visitors and residents alike, what else can you get up to in and around Chiang Mai?
Oh, plenty. You can immerse yourself in the culture, take a Thai cooking class, learn how to make those amazing dishes yourself, or get a traditional Thai massage. They're widely available, incredibly affordable, starting around 150 to 300 baeks an hour usually.
Such a bargain.
Totally. For something more active, you could even try a Muay Thai boxing class, get a real workout. For adventure seekers, there's zip lining through the rainforest canopy with outfits like Flight of the Gibbon. There's mountain biking on Doi Suthep Mountain, or even whitewater rafting on the Mae Tang River nearby.
Wow, lots of adrenaline options too.
Yeah. And culturally, timing your visit matters too. Experiencing Songkran, the Thai New Year water festival in April, is wild. Or the incredibly beautiful Loy Krathong and Yipeng lantern festivals in November. That's when you see thousands of lanterns released into the sky. It's magical.
That sounds incredible. Okay, and when the sun goes down, what's the nightlife like?
Chiang Mai definitely has a lively nightlife, though it's generally more relaxed and less intense than, say, Bangkok or the Southern Islands. You'll find clusters of bars and pubs around areas like Loi Crow Road and Moon Wong Road near the moat. They offer everything from sports bars to live music venues. Places like Boy Blues Bar and the Northgate Jazz Collective are often highlighted for great live music, especially blues and jazz. There are also nightclubs like Warm Up Cafe, which is popular with young locals and university students, and there's a pretty prominent and welcoming gay bar scene as well. For foodies, beyond the general amazing street food, you absolutely must try the local specialty, khao soi. It's this delicious, creamy yellow wheat noodle curry, often with chicken or beef. It's iconic northern Thai food.
Making me hungry.
Right. And for a real cultural dining experience, try a Kantok dinner. It's a traditional northern Thai meal served on a low pedestal tray, usually accompanied by traditional music and dance performances.
Okay, that sounds like a great way to experience the local culture. Now, while Chiang Mai clearly offers so much, it's really important we also talk about the potential challenges. We need that balanced view. What should you seriously consider before visiting or deciding to live there? Let's start with one of the most talked about issues, the air quality.
Yes. This is probably the single biggest downside mentioned in our sources. The air pollution, often called the burning season or smoky season. It typically runs from around December, getting worse through February and March, sometimes into April. This period sees really high levels of PM 2.5, that fine particle dust, mainly from agricultural burning in the region and sometimes blowing in from neighboring countries. The levels often exceed recommended safety standards by significant margins. We're talking reaching levels considered hazardous, sometimes many times higher than WHO guidelines. March is often cited as the worst month to visit, specifically because of this.
Wow. And what's the impact? Do people just put up with it?
Well, it's a major health concern. Thousands of residents, both foreign expats and Thais, actually choose to leave Chiang Mai during the peak burning season if they can. And for those who stay, basic surgical masks offer very little protection against those fine particles. N95 masks are strongly recommended for any essential outdoor activity. It really impacts daily life for several months.
That's a significant drawback to factor in. Okay, what about safety in general? Is Chiang Mai considered safe?
Generally, yes, especially concerning violent crime against foreigners, which is relatively rare. However, crimes of opportunity do happen. Things like pickpocketing, especially in crowded markets, and bag snatching, sometimes by thieves on motorbikes who grab bags from pedestrians or people in tuk-tuks. Those are things to be aware of. Basic vigilance is needed.
And any common scams to watch out for?
Yeah, a few classic ones pop up. The gem scam is one, where you might be pressured into buying seemingly valuable gems that are actually near worthless, often involving smooth-talking strangers or even complicit tuk-tuk drivers. And speaking of tuk-tuks, there's the tuk-tuk scam, where a driver offers a very cheap ride, but then takes you on detours to overpriced souvenir shops or tailor shops where they get a commission.
Right, the old runaround.
Exactly. And as we already discussed, traffic accidents remain a significant risk, particularly involving motorbikes, often due to, well, let's just say spirited driving styles.
Okay. And finally, what about navigating local laws and customs? Any key nuances visitors or potential residents absolutely need to know?
Yes, definitely a few important points here. Thailand has very strict laws that foreigners absolutely must respect. This includes severe penalties for any drug offenses. Regulations can be complex and change, so caution is advised. And critically, there are extremely strict lèse-majesté laws protecting the king and the royal family. Any perceived disrespect, even unintentional, can lead to serious trouble. Tearing Thai banknotes, which have the king's image, could even be considered an offense.
Wow, okay. That's crucial to understand.
Also, prostitution is technically illegal, despite its visibility in some areas. And be aware of strict defamation laws. Posting very negative public reviews online about a business, for example, could potentially lead to legal issues.
Interesting. What about practical things like water?
Good point. Tap water is generally not considered potable. Stick to bottled water. While ice made by professional companies and served in restaurants is usually safe, often cylindrical with a hole, the quality of water from street-side vending machines can be variable. Best to be cautious there. And one last practical safety tip. If you happen to get bitten by a dog, even if it seems minor, seek medical attention immediately because of the risk of rabies, which is present in Thailand.
Right. Very important advice. Okay, so wrapping this all up. Our deep dive into Chiang Mai really reveals a city of immense charm, rich culture, and loads of practical opportunities. But it's also clearly a place with its own set of realities, from those serious air quality challenges in the burning season to the need to navigate local customs and laws carefully. It's a destination that truly rewards informed exploration, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And if we try to connect this to the bigger picture, what really stands out here is how a place like Chiang Mai kind of embodies the complexities of modern global living and travel. It highlights that genuine understanding doesn't come from just reading the glossy brochures or the horror stories. It comes from synthesizing all that diverse information, the glowing reviews and the cautionary tales. That allows you, the listener, to make truly informed choices. It's the nuances, the blend of good and challenging that actually make the experience richer and more real.
That's a great point. So, what does this all mean for you listening? Perhaps the next time you're planning a trip, or maybe even dreaming of a totally new life chapter somewhere. Consider not just where you're going, but how deeply you'll try to understand it beforehand. What surprising nuggets of knowledge, what crucial details will you seek out to make sure your next adventure is truly exceptional and navigated with open eyes?